The US economy is recovering fast from the corona crash, with analysed GDP down just 2.8% for Q3 2020, a remarkable performance and far better than most Western nations. Whilst it's a bit early to suggest an economic boom for 2021, still everything is pointing towards at least 3% gain for the year, at least, and it could be above 5%. Where the housing market is leading the economic recovery, which, given potential momentum of 10%, implies US GDP for 2021 could easily exceed 3% and could nudge above 5% by the end of 2021, which means that the US will have more than recovered from the pandemic crash by the end of this year. US unemployment. Official US unemployment should continue to recover from the pandemic collapse, though as my earlier graph illustrates, momentum has greatly slowed, which means it's going to be tough going to get to pre-corona levels. At best, US unemployment could reach 5% by the end of 2021, still supportive of rising house prices. And US inflation. CPI, the highly doctored official measure of US inflation, stands at just 1.2% for November 2020, whilst real inflation is far higher, probably quadruple the official rate, i.e. above 4%, hence why the likes of US house prices are rocketing higher as the real value of money falls as a consequence of rampant money printing. Still, official US inflation of just 1.2% gives the Fed cover to continue printing money and for the Biden administration to go on a socialist spending spree with its supportive of rising house prices. Whilst the expected post-pandemic spending boom will push CPI inflation higher during the second half of 2021. However, this time round, one key element is lacking in sustaining any rise in prices, that's general prices, which is a tight labour market. And 2021 will be yet another year that the deflationistas will have got very badly wrong. Therefore, high real inflation with rising GDP are bullish for US house prices for the duration of 2021. Did the coronavirus pandemic deliver the perma bears the US house prices crash that they have been crying so loudly for over a decade now? Firstly, a recap of my existing US house prices trend forecast as of April 2019, which forecast a rise in the Case-Shiller index from 225.9 to 232.4 as of January 2021 data. And here is the updated chart for what has transpired since my forecast of April 2019. So whilst the US stock market had a panic attack into mid-March, the crash where the US house prices are concerned was upwards, which should not have come as much surprise to those who have been following my analysis for the past 10 years, i.e. money printing on an epic scale. When you know the Fed is about to print a shitload of money, whatever they call it, will mean that assets that cannot be easily printed will surge higher in price. This is the inflation megatrend in action. The primary megatrend is the inflation megatrend. Those who bet against it on hopes of a repeat of the 1930s depression will keep going broke. That's if they put their money where their mouth is. This video is an excerpt from my recent extensive in-depth analysis that concludes in a detailed trend forecast for US house prices into 2022. The whole of which was first made available to patrons who support my work. So for immediate first access to all of my analysis and trend forecasts, then do consider becoming a patron by supporting my work for just $3 per month, with my most recent analysis concluding in a detailed trend forecast for the stock market for 2021. And my schedule of analysis includes a major update on which AI stocks to invest in for 2021 and beyond, a look at the prospects for UK house prices, a Bitcoin trend forecast update for 2021, not forgetting that my last forecast to buy Bitcoin at under 10k, and a piece on how to get started on getting rich, how to actually get rich. And then an update for the prospects for the US dollar and sterling, as the British pound has now fulfilled my long-standing target of reaching 1.4 to the dollar, or $1.4 to the pound, should I say. And do remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel for new videos.